Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am a very sick Shades for Shades. Welcome to the Vboomer cast. How are you? We are VTubers in our 30s, and apparently the internet thinks that's too old to be a VTuber. So we're going to smash Boomer and VTuber together because you little shits have another thing coming. Oh my god, who do I got today?
I mean, that works. Am I going first this time? Okay, hold on. Hi, I'm Kirari. I am an Abyssal Sea Princess, and I stream every Monday and Wednesday. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm slow brain today. Bear with me.
We're all McDying. We're all
Yeah.
McDying today.
At 7 p.m. BST, and I stream on Twitch and stuff and things, and where I am even more slow brained than usual.
You're
Yay!
normally good about it. Shh. And then the man in the middle.
The man in the
Our
middle.
Rock.
I'm a rock. I'm Brock the Rain Drop. I can't even
You're
talk
Brock
right
the
now.
Brain
Why,
Drop.
hello there. My name is Sergeant Sage. You can find me live on Twitch on occasion when I get the chance to do it. I had taken a week off because of family stuff, but that's where you can find me. Normally around the same time you would find Shades for Shades live.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it. I'm a cat. I mean, what else can I tell you other than I eat souls?
You also eat anything that moves, and you can't taste it.
No, that's only if I had the superpower.
Oh, and you're in our alternate reality. You've got that superpower. Congratulations.
You know, I thought about it too, and like literally, it's just like Full Metal Alchemist, where gluttony. He's able to just eat anything. But the thing is he's able to taste shade, so I should be able to taste.
No.
Do you want to taste dead bodies, though?
That's gonna be rank.
Like
I want to.
Pause is concerning.
With a little paprika and some other seasonings, a dash of celery salt, maybe even some.
God, stop making me laugh. It hurts to laugh.
MSG.
I start coughing everywhere.
MSG brings out the flavor in everything.
Fair enough. Can't argue with that. I can't argue.
I'm really hoping that mute button works on the microphone. I'm trying not to blow everyone in the YouTube audience's eardrums out with my coughing. So,
well,
viewers at home, here's the deal. Please like, comment, star, thumbs up, social media engage. Talk about us on certain websites that start with a PH. I don't know where this is going. All I want is people to interact and tell people about us so that way we can be the best VTuber podcast out there. So that way we can tell all those other podcasting VTubers like Zentrea, you ain't shit. Because she started her own podcast this week.
Oh,
don't forget, commenters, you can always do a BL story of me and Shades. Make sure they're out there.
Please don't.
Let's go.
I have notes. If you guys need notes, I have notes.
Cats and dogs coming together. The world is ending.
No way.
Enemies to lovers. It's like the oldest trope in the book.
Oh yeah. Can you hear that? Just
yeah.
I heard all that.
I am sorry. Oh god, I forgot to mute the Discord.
Even the Hot was in there.
So, comment section. I have been sick. A sinus infection started because the tree semen was in the air, and I forgot I don't like tree semen in my lungs and my sinuses. So I got a sinus infection that turned into a very bad cold. I have been coughing and hacking up green shit out of my lungs for 2 days.
So you got a TTD then.
What?
A tree transmitted disease. A TTD.
Yes, I did get a TTD.
From all the tree semen.
Yeah.
I hate it here.
God. So, yeah, if you ever hear me just stop, it is going to be because I am hacking out my lungs. with a crowbar or a spoon. I don't know. Haven't decided it yet. I am sorry you guys had to hear that.
If you had Kirari superpower, you wouldn't even need lungs. You'd just dive underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to make out with a fish, though.
True.
It's got to be the reverse mermaid, too. So, like, it's got to be the fish top half. Damn it.
Or a fish-eyed Frenchman.
Could it be a fish-eyed... Could it be a fish-eyed French girl, too?
I hate all of this.
French... Why are we still making fun of France?
I'm not making fun of France. It just fits. It just seems right.
It's just funny because like now Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is out, and collectively the internet's like, okay, maybe the French aren't that bad.
No, they are.
Yeah.
They are. Don't buy it.
They're
it's just a secondary part
It's
of Charles de Gaulle's
propaganda.
great lie.
No.
It's just de Gaulle's great lie. They all collaborated.
Shades is drifting back into freedom fries and freedom toast. Watch out, internet. I'm sorry. I'm killing him more than usual today.
It's not helping.
No.
It's fine, I'm sure. I'm sure he'll not die too much.
I know he muted his mic, but just like watching him cough, yeah. I feel so bad. Huh.
Hi, I'm alive.
You okay, sir?
No.
I think I even saw his eye twitch a few times too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so the freedom fries and the you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing. Although I will say I did have a problem with the fact that our government decided that they needed to put people in camps. And you're like,
old news or new news?
No, old news. I'm talking about the Japanese internment bullshit. They never should have done that.
I was just like, what did I miss? I've been watching the news like every week.
So confused. I was like, I know I live under a rock, but I don't think it's that bad.
I think we would have heard about that if it was going on right now.
Right. But no, that through the eyes of history, that never should have been allowed to happen.
Oh no. Definitely not.
That was a serious gross misconduct of United States law. But whatever. It's not like whatever, disrespectful, whatever. Yeah, you in the back in the fucking comment section, put the goddamn phrase back. No, put the sentence back. No, not like that.
Stop typing.
Yeah, stop typing. I literally mean whatever is in it. It's almost 100 years old. It happened. I think by now we're over it.
I just picture that commenter doing the Bruce Almighty typing where like he starts typing off slow and all of a sudden it's getting faster and faster and faster and more frantic and his hands keep going higher and higher and higher.
God, that movie was such a trip.
Oh my God, yes. I love Bruce Almighty.
Every guy watched that movie, and that one scene where Jennifer Aniston goes into the bathroom and Jim Carrey's just like pleasure, 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 and she's like going off in the bathroom. Every guy's just like, yeah, that's the superpower I'd want.
God damn it! Why are all of the superpowers we have weirdly pervy in different ways, or just gross?
Mine wasn't. You guys made it pervy.
True, I did.
They got worse and worse as we went through.
Yeah.
and comment section, literally go back and watch. What was it, episode 5? You know what? If our first guest, we need to have them pick one of those, and then we're just gonna be like, hey, so here's your drawbacks, by the way.
It'll just be standard practice for anyone guesting on here.
Yeah.
First question, what's your superpower?
Right? Yeah, if you could pick a superpower, what would it be? Oh my God.
Take this as a warning and a threat.
Yes.
Well, you can't threaten somebody with a good time, so...
True, you cannot.
I mean, you can, but like, they'll enjoy it
in this economy. Bro. Okay, so I know this is probably going to be like a cold turd by the time we hit What am I trying to say? Sick brain shades. You're saying words. No one's at the controls. Someone help me. So
Old news
Dokibird was
by the time.
scammed again.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Look at that. It's another day that ends in fucking Y.
Mm.
And the worst part is it was a nothing burger all along.
Yep.
So for those of you that don't know, Dokibird did this like PC giveaway like a year ago or like in November of 2024.
It was late last year, yeah.
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 And then like nothing happened. I saw like concept art for this PC and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Turns out
So this is the PC charity for the Brain and
Yeah,
Behavior Research
yeah.
Foundation thing.
Yeah, that she did like a while
Okay.
ago, right?
Yeah.
Turns out the concept art for the PC was the only thing that was ever produced.
Oh.
And I say the word produced roughly because it was literally someone else's sketch that someone who was going to be building the whole PC apparently took and modified and then said, okay, so I quoted you 6. The price is now 20. Or not 20, but it was like 10.
So by 6 and 10, we're saying like 6,000 to 10,000.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
For no reason.
Well, here's the thing: is most custom PCs, unless you're getting a case custom built, shouldn't cost you more than 3,000 to begin with.
Right.
I mean, you can get into the realm of 5,000, but like most people will live with a $3,000 PC and be perfectly fine for years.
And even then, at the price point of $6,000, that'd be what, $2,000 for parts and labor.
Your biggest money drain is going to be your graphics card, which is your GPU, your CPU, and your motherboard. Everything else shouldn't be that expensive because RAM's not expensive. The case, if it's a custom case, that could get expensive depending on your cooling system.
Yeah.
But most of the money is going to come from your video card and your CPU and motherboard.
Yeah. So like, automatically when I heard about this situation, I was like, wow. So someone was trying to scam her.
So, if I'm looking at this correctly, or at least what it says is, she apologized for delays, noting the PC builder escalated the cost from $6K to $14K without justification, ignored requests for proof of work. So the person that she was having do the work wasn't providing her with proof that the work was actually being done,
nothing.
And falsely accused her of pocketing charity funds, claims that she refuted by confirming all bids went directly to charity via Tiltify.
Yeah, Tiltify does it directly to charity.
Tiltify does it directly to the charity. The money hits. It doesn't even transfer between the streamer's bank account and Tiltify. It's just straight to Tiltify.
Yeah,
which means the streamer has no access to that money.
I did a charity stream not last year, but a year before, and that was also through Tiltify, and that just went straight to Gamers Outrage.
So all the while that this is going on, apparently she, because I think her parents managed her brand for a while. I think her parents tried to take it from her, which basically meant she had to get all of her shit out of her because she moved back in with her parents, right? Or she was living with her parents, and then literally like Doki's little Google Doc said, "Oh yeah, so I basically had to move out of my home." And do a bunch of other stuff like legally with like police protection and stuff like that while she was trying to like deal with all of this. Oh, it upsets me because like all the while she's trying to keep it above board apparently. And like I looked at her stuff and I'm like, okay, cool, this is great. And then like you could see it where she eventually was like, you know what, this shit's not happening. I'm just gonna pay the person out. They agreed amicably to a payout of like 8K.
7.5K for a non-themed PC. So yeah, it says she ultimately resolved the issue by paying the winner $7.5K for a non-themed PC after Amazon canceled her parts order.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like, this should have been never a thing that she made a document about. It should have never been news. But then some weird drama, life advice, VTube, YouTuber, wannabe, nobody. It starts with a K. It's like Cat something or other. She did this hit piece on this and then was like, Doki didn't pay the artist. I'm like, bruh, what contract? What? Where's
If the artist wasn't willing to send proof of work or proof of concept, how do you know that the artist even did work?
Did work in the first place, yeah.
Did they actually? Did she actually show artwork that was supposed to be on the PC? Doki did at all?
No.
During that whole process?
No.
It could be because she didn't receive anything from the artist. The artist is probably like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it. Send me the money."
Yeah.
You know,
and then it never
could have gotten scammed. Yeah.
So now this cat lady, he's trying to blow up Dokibird and be like, "Oh, you're a phony." And I'm like, bruh.
Man, leave her the fuck alone.
Yeah, I mean, she's suffering enough and needs you. Leave the little bird alone.
For the person that's dragging this out, you think they're just doing it for the clout of trying to poke at a big name streamer?
Yes.
Like they're just like, even if it's like, so the old adage is all press is good press. Even the negative press is good press because your name is getting out there. People will know you. If that's your goal, is to be known. So you can either be famous or infamous, but you would get known. I mean, you look at some streamers that do like the negative content creation, where like they're digging at other people. They will still build a following of people wanting to watch them, so they still get popular. So I mean, could be clout chase for this, or becoming one of the neg streamers. You know?
Yeah. I mean, look at Tectone. Tectone's massive, but he's a
Keemstar.
freaking asshole.
Don't forget Drama Alert.
I feel like the VTuber world is like the Power Rangers. you've got all like the heroes and all the good guys and all that stuff, and then you've got like Lord Zed of the Negaverse, and like there's just the negative side and the positive side.
Makes no sense why people do this crap.
I don't think we brought it up, but there was an article about the Red Power Ranger, Austin St. John.
Was he the first or the second one?
He was the first Red Ranger, I believe. He was sentenced to 5 years of probation and ordered to pay $225,000 for his part in procuring a COVID-19 relief fund.
Oh my god!
So that relief fund that was meant for like businesses and things like that. Him and a few other people got together and found a way to get that money. Which I shouldn't say to be fair, but a lot of people were doing that. They were creating LLCs and small businesses to get access to that money. So, I mean, it just wasn't them, but yeah, that's the Power Ranger tie-in.
Well, Mr. Biden, could I get $100,000 to make a cool company, please?
Speaking of Biden, I saw something pop up on my feed. I didn't actually open it or read it, but like it was like this thing called like Joe Biden's dementia tour. Now, I have nothing against Joe Biden as a person. Nothing against Joe Biden as a person, but come on, man. He's an old guy. Leave him alone. Like, you don't need to be like making fun of him and say it's a dementia tour, because he's been going around doing speaking. And just just like anybody that's of his age, they go on little rants and rambles. Yeah. Things like that. But yeah, so weird, that man. So many tie-ins today.
There are. It's like a tie-in episode, and you're like, why is that? I'm sick. Kirari's tired. More than normal. You worked today, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I had a weekend shift this weekend, so I'm working 7 days in a row.
Gross.
So
Honestly, it wouldn't have
Gross.
been so bad if I hadn't had this one customer
I was about to
who
ask about that. Yeah.
genuinely pissed me
Oh
off.
yeah, that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what'd he do?
Because okay, so I work for a company where you can buy shit. Obviously, I'm not gonna go into detail because I don't want to dox myself. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Um, and said customer was not happy with something that they bought. Fair enough. Happens all the time. It's a clothing company. Shocker. Sometimes you need to return clothes because they don't work for you.
Yep.
What do you mean my red pencil
Shocking.
skirt won't fit? I already provided
Oh,
you the sizing. I am a women's
Ooh.
medium.
I'm just
making
now
notes.
picturing Shades
I still
wearing
need to
that red
draw
pencil skirt.
shades. Yeah, I still need to draw
I'm
shades as a
kidding.
maid. Now it's going to
Uh-huh.
be shades as a maid in a red pencil skirt.
Yeah.
Gonna be office worker shades. Yeah, do it.
Also works. But yeah, they were not happy with something that they bought because it wasn't working out for them. And company I work for is pretty lenient. So like if something doesn't work and it cannot be returned, like underwear or whatever, we just kind of offer them like either a refund or like a replacement like a different size or like something of the same value. Because
Yeah.
we're pretty nice, I want to say. So I offered them something else.
Too nice.
Like, hey, like, want to try this? If not, can get you sorted another way. Don't worry about it. And the stuff that you haven't tried on, we'll take it back for like a refund or exchange or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, sure. So I get that sorted for them. I give them the returns information. We don't offer free returns. So they had to pay to get the parcel back to us to have it exchanged.
It's
And
in the
they
States we
threw...
call that a restocking fee.
Is that what? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's they can't resell what they have, so you have to pay it's a fee for them to be able to restock it at the store or something like that.
Yeah.
That works. But yeah, so like we don't pay for returns. So customers have to pay their own return postage, which a lot of customers like throw his fit about, but usually you like you just throw like, I don't know, a 10% discount voucher at them and something, and then they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's fine. I'll take it. And they're happy. But
Ooh,
this
piece of candy.
customer would not shut up.
Oh no.
And kept bringing up the law, like, this is faulty, you need to replace it without me having to pay for it. And I was just kind of like, lady, it's not faulty, it just doesn't fit.
I would probably if I got one of those people on the line, I'd probably be like, I need to put you on hold while I get this sorted, and just let her ramble to herself for a while, and then you hop
Like...
on, and then if she keeps going after you're trying to help her, you'd be like, oh, something came up, I need to put you on hold for a minute.
Like, thankfully, like, we don't do anything for like phone, so like I can just like let them go off on like the chat bot or whatever, or like the chat function.
Well, yeah. I forgot
like
about
I was
chatbots.
I was just kind of like, oh my god, she's still going. Oh my god. And at one point I was like, okay, well, sorry, this is just our policy. And then they were, well, okay, I changed my mind about a replacement then. So I like, okay, well, I'll just cancel the replacement for you, and I can just offer you a full refund for the order. And they're like, oh, but that's not what I want. I want the replacement. I'm like, what do you want?
You can't tell me you don't want the replacement, and then all of a sudden say, I want the replacement.
So I was like, okay, well, if you want a replacement still, I'll do the replacement for the one you have worn, and I'll just refund the one that you haven't worn without you having to return it, so you don't have to pay for return postage.
I hate
like,
people that do
nah,
this shit.
I want the full refund now because you've already offered it. I'm like, okay, fine, you're not getting the fucking replacement.
Yeah.
She just, I got that sorted for her. So she got the full refund. And then she still went on about wanting to complain. And I was just kind of like, you know, for someone who has willingly given this company her address, you're being very brave right now, because I can write your address down, and in a month's time, I can just send you glitter dicks. I can send you a glitter bomb, lady.
I feel like that is acceptable.
I was so tempted.
I just can't imagine that you open like this little box and it just explodes into a bunch of glittery dicks just floating through the air. You're just like, what the hell?
What the hell? What did I do to deserve this?
Loading that in there like a claymore.
Speaking of which, I don't know if you guys have seen these on the internet, but they look really cool. They're like these little box things that you send to people, right? And so like it's got like a letter on the inside, but when you like open the box, it opens and all these like paper butterflies actually like fly out and they'll like float through the air and stuff like that.
I've seen that.
Those things are so cool looking. That would be the glitter bomb I would want. Yeah, I don't care if you put glitter in that. I want the little butterflies flying around.
I think I genuinely I scare easily. So I think I would open that and I would just like yeet it across the room. He's like, what the fuck?
So Shades, what is your terrible customer service story?
We've heard
one from Kirari.
You're gonna have to wait a minute.
Okay. We can wait.
Fair enough.
He's probably got a cough chat. Yep. There you go.
I also had a customer that gave cat tax today. So that was good.
Oh yeah, cat tax.
That cheered me up a little bit because like they sent like a picture of like a faulty item, and I was like, okay, well that's fine. And they sent the last picture and there was just cat in like the corner, and they went, accidental cat, and I was like, cat tax is always appreciated. And literally the next picture was just a picture of their cats.
Just the cat.
I really hope me hitting this mute button on this microphone actually works.
That one worked.
That one worked.
No. I'm talking about on my recording stuff. Like I'm muting the audio input. I am hoping it's working as intended. Otherwise, we're not gonna be able to use any of this. But you know what? I think it should. So, my worst customer service story ever. Oh God, where do I start? So, did I talk about some poor dumb bastard who tried to steal a cake that wasn't a cake?
And when you were working at Walmart,
and it was a
styrofoam cake. I'm sure you have to me. I don't know if Kirari's heard it.
Okay. I have not heard this story.
So I don't think we told this story. I know I've told the story on my stream. It's one of my favorite stories, and one of my reasons why, if anyone in my family is like, "Oh, you can just work in retail again," I'm like, "No, I'd rather die." So here's why. I used to work at a bakery for a company that's got a weird spark. It's yellow for their logo. It might be Walmart. It might not be. There are other companies with commercial bakeries and delis. I don't know. All I know is I was sitting behind a deli counter, bakery counter one night, and it was like 7 o'clock, and at like 7:30 or so, you start cleaning up. And you're like, Shades, what are you cleaning up? Well, it's a full functional bakery. Like, we bake all of the shit frozen, and then we just put it out on the shelf. So like, you have to treat it like a food service kind of situation. So you got to clean it every day. Well, I always closed with this other redneck motherfucker named Tony. What was his? Was it Joey? Was it Tony? Was it? It was Clark. His name was Clark. So I'm like, hey Clark, how's it going? He was like, well, boy, you know, my wife's got some stuff going on tonight, so I gotta go pick my son up from school. I'm like, Clark, he's 17. Why isn't he driving yet? He's like, oh, we can't afford a car yet. My wife, ever since she lost her job, acted as the manager. And I'm like, thanks, Clark. Clark was really big on telling a lot of stories with way too much detail. Kind of funny. So I'm sitting there.
At least it wasn't boring.
No, he was not. Clark made it very interesting to work. So I'm sitting there, like, scrubbing the front little area by the cake counter and the cake case behind the case. And I'm just, scrubbing it down because there's like a literal pile of frosting just sitting there that someone just dumped. And I'm like, yeah, great. So this dude walks up and he's like, hey, can you give me a custom cake? And I'm like, oh yeah, when do you want to pick it up next week? He's like, oh, I need it now. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. We got to have like a 48-hour order window for that. And what can I get you? He's like, no, I need one now. And I was like, I'm sorry, we can't. And he was like, can I talk to a manager? And I was like, sure, I can get you one, but he's going to tell you the same thing. Like, you know what? Never mind. I'm good without it. And he walks off. So we finished up doing what we're doing, and I'm like, hey, Clark, I'm gonna go take all the trash back, and then I'll meet you in the break room. Because, like, the last 2 minutes of our shift, we just kind of sit there sometimes. Because, like, that's our break. So I go take all of our trash to the trash compactor, and then like Clark shows up and he's like, I had some poor fool ask me if I could give him a cake, and I told him no. And he was like, well, what about that cake on the counter? The cake on the counter is a styrofoam display, right? So that way people have a thing to show. And he's like, I tapped that, I took the lid off, I tapped that son of a bitch on the counter, and he was like, well, that's a good cake, ain't it? And I'm like, Clark, did you sell that man that cake? He's like, no. So, I don't think anything of it. I come in the next morning, and immediately, asset protection, and like, one of the managers, like one of the store managers is standing there. Like, we need to talk to you. And I was like, oh, what did I do now? Because, like, they had some problems at the store. Wasn't me. And I was like, oh, what did I do? And they pull me back into this office, and they're like, hey, we need you to identify someone. And they're like, yeah, is this the guy? I'm like, yeah, why? And they're like, okay, cool, no problem. And I'm like, I get there, and then it's like, what's going on? And then I notice that our display cake is missing. So, apparently, after Clark left, closed the lights, this guy stole the display cake, checked it out of the store with a barcode that I have no idea where he got, unless there was a barcode already on the damn thing, and it was just valid, which is shocking, and took it home. Tried to eat it, realized it was cardboard and styrofoam, brought it back to the damn store, tried to return it. According to my guy that I knew at the customer service counter in the front end. And I was like, what do you mean he tried to return it? Like, yeah, he brought it back. He was like, yeah, I bought it. But this guy at the customer service, he had already worked over in the bakery. So it was very awkward. I think they prosecuted the guy for shoplifting.
I mean, I would.
Right? So that is my worst customer service story ever. The customer is always right until they're always wrong.
They're wrong.
I hate that quote because it gets taken out of context so badly.
So much.
Because it's customer's always right in matters of taste.
Yes.
But it gets cut off in the worst part.
Of taste and style. Otherwise, no. Although I will say that's not as bad as this other woman we had. Like, I'm not saying we had a photo of her tacked up on a bulletin board. We had a photo of her tacked up on a bulletin board allegedly, and it was you have a manager there when you're taking her order. I didn't know that the first time. So when I took her order, I walked into work the next day. No, I walked into work like 2 days later when like she needed this cake by, and my manager's like, what the did you do? I was like, what do you mean? What the did I do? And he was like, why do I got someone saying that we owe them $60 of cake for free because you took the wrong order? I was like, what do you mean? And then he was like, yeah, it's this. And then I looked at the bulletin board. I looked back at her because she was standing there demanding free shit. And I was like, hey, boss, is that the lady? And he's like, yeah, did you not get a manager? And I was like, no, it was 7 o'clock at night.
Oh, no.
How, just out of curiosity, what age range were you when this took place? Because
I was 25.
I'm trying to picture.
This was,
you were 25.
This was 7 years ago, or less.
Was this pre the internet blowing up about Karen? So this was a pre-Karen Karen?
No. This was when Karens were starting to become a thing on the internet, and I could have told stories for clout for days, but I chose not to. Because I didn't need that kind of clout. And then I became a VTuber later, and I was like, damn, this would have been a funny story.
Yeah, they usually
that actually reminds me of like something that happened like in a previous shop that I worked, where I worked at like a made to measure desk, so like for like custom curtains and stuff like that. And one of my coworkers, she had like a login for like the order stuff, but she lost it. So one evening during like a busy like shop evening, she was like, "Oh yeah, just let me borrow your login and I'll just like handle this customer." And I didn't think anything of it until 2 weeks later, when I got like, "Yeah, you did this wrong," and I was like, "What do you mean?" I was I was working at the cash freaking office that evening. You can check the records. That wasn't me. So thankfully I got out of it because
yeah,
there was records of everything, but
everything's time-stamped,
that's
yeah.
one thing we literally, in my company, we have because we have stores, and our company, the policy literally is everyone has their own login code to the register. Do not share them. Let the person use their own login code, so if anything happens, it's logged in under them.
Yeah.
So you're saving your own ass.
And it's a control thing too, so that way you can see who did what with what.
Yeah, essentially. And working in unemployment, I see issues like that all the time.
It's like everywhere in finance. It just takes one time, and then suddenly everything's just gone.
Just gone.
Yeah.
Bro. You know what I want?
What do you want?
I want Bungie to stop stealing shit, allegedly.
That'd be nice.
Allegedly.
Shades, what do you mean? Well, this is going to be another topic that ages like, a cold... oh, God. So by the time this comes out...
non-refrigerated Greek yogurt?
Yeah, this is how well it's going to age. Because, like, we're going to have 2 weeks of people discovering stuff to go, wow, these guys are totally wrong. You guys are bad. You should cancel all of your accounts and you should delete all of your social medias. Get off the internet, loser. And I'm going to be like, well, you see, at the time, I don't even care. So, apparently, Bungie's new extraction shooter, Marathon, right?
Marathon.
Flopped so hard on their little beta release that no one played it for more than like 4 hours. And then they were like, I'm done. This is dumb. I'm bored. On top of that, what's up?
So they shouldn't have done it as a beta. It should have been an alpha, honestly, because a lot of assets were already missing from the game, and they were like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna do a free beta weekend. And it was just like, I was like, come on. Normally, you don't give away free beta weekends unless you're working out bugs. That's when you're looking at bug fixes. If you do not have a complete game, they're alphas.
Yeah. And like that agitated me because it was like, bro, I kind of wanted to try it, and then I looked at it more, and the more I saw it, the more I was like, I'm good. Thanks though.
So the other thing too that Bungie, I mean, we'll circle back on this, but the other thing that Bungie the only thing Bungie really has going for them right now, if you don't include the Halo series, because Halo is still much beloved, but is the Destiny series. And a lot of their fan base are PvE enjoyers, right? So when they wanted Marathon to become like an extraction shooter, it was PvPvE, right? So right there, they're trying to jump into a new genre when a majority of their fan base and player base are PvE enjoyers, with a splash of PvP for those people that want to jump into the arenas and things like that.
Yeah.
From what I saw, Bungie just hasn't figured out what they want to do with Marathon, and that's really hurting it. On top of this new allegation stuff for copyrighted or stolen assets.
Oh, they've stolen a bunch of stuff, apparently.
Yeah.
Which is so strange because, like, the more you look at it, like, people like Pirate Software, Asmongold, like, a bunch of big names have touched this topic and been like, this is very not cool. This is not a good idea. And then, the whole long and short of it, comment section is, we took art assets from a Twitter blog or a Twitter page from 2018, And
we didn't think anybody would notice.
Essentially, that's what it boiled down to. I've seen some threads that are like, so here's the 1-to-1, and they're literally 1-to-1 with slight deviations. So that way you would literally have to argue like the most minute nonsense,
the semantics of the situation.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Now, it would have been so. From what I've been reading and what I've been seeing on this, they're damage controlling right now by saying, "Oh, we didn't know that our team was unaware that they were using already available assets and things, or assets that already existed when they created this, whatever it is." And so they're playing that game. And as somebody that works for a corporation, and I work in a position that we kind of have to PR some things. It's just a face saving maneuver right now. They're going to investigate a little bit more. I'm sure that they're going to talk to the original creator, and they're either A, going to get their permission to continue using it and pay them some money, or B, they're going to get some NDAs signed and things like that, so that way this doesn't get spoken of again. And they're going to drop the art and just find something else. So honestly, the guy who was the original creator of whatever that they're trying to utilize, I think just give him some money and you can go from there. Obviously, might have to pay some damages for the stuff that they've already taken, but yeah, pay artists for their work essentially, and you have no issues.
I don't even think the guy wants any money. I think he's literally just like, I don't have the money or energy to fight it. You did a shitty thing. Own it.
Well, yeah, okay. That aspect right there. I'm not saying that. Well, what I'm getting at on my end is that Bungie needs to step up and offer this person monetary value instead of making it a case where, like, well, you have to prove it, and we know you don't have the money to prove it, or the money to hire the lawyers to prove it. They need to be the responsible one. They got caught with their hand in a cookie jar, even if it was unbeknownst to the higher ups. Even if it was unbeknownst to the higher ups, own your mistake, pay for it, and move on.
This was a serious procurement issue.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing too is the vetting process for your artists. You know, you want somebody to come up with a portfolio, and before you even hire them, you should be cross-referencing their portfolio with internet. Just the internet, because there's a Google reverse lookup, which even us basic normies have access to, where you'd be able to tell if art was stolen or deviated from slightly, just by putting it into the system. Be like, look, is there anything like this? Well, there are some things that are close, but nothing exactly like this, so it's unique. Or there's just way too many instances that look exactly like this one photo for us to ignore. I mean, you add that into your hiring process for artists.
Yeah.
There's ways. There's ways. They just go around and try not to spend the extra money to avoid.
Yeah.
I love corporate America and corporatism in general.
I love corporate gaming. Yay.
Honestly, is Bungie even really making any additional cash at this point, other than maybe season passes?
Off of like Destiny, because I know they don't own anything to do with Halo, and they haven't for some time.
Yeah, they don't. So maybe it's also a money thing. Maybe like they just they don't have money to throw at a whole new game, because they have to pay for the management upkeep of their Destiny servers with the season pass money that they make, you know?
I had no idea. I would never thought we'd be having this conversation about Bungie. Not gonna lie. It's like, this is one of those studios that, like, if you would have talked to me about this like 10 years ago, I would have been like, nah, man, these guys are gonna keep making it. And then all the Destiny crap happened. And I'm like,
they're one of the good guys. Wait, what's happening?
Right? Like, oh, oh no. Like, bro. The weird Destiny crap where they're like, oh, half of Destiny's content is vaulted now. Good luck playing the game. I'm like, this is why I didn't play Destiny. This is why I don't play Destiny 2. Like, I don't believe in this, like, one-time vaulted content nonsense, because that's not an enjoyable experience.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, I get it. It's like, oh, well, old man, just don't buy a game that requires you to do that. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I didn't. But, like, that also doesn't mean it needs to become, like, an industry norm, and thank God it didn't.
Well, speaking of the industry, it is the rise of the indie creator, honestly. You've got more people interested in these low budget indie games nowadays than you do for the AAA companies that charge you $90 for their game, which they don't do that right now, but that's essentially the trend that it's going to hit up to. Well, what I mean by that is the general gaming public isn't being charged $90. Nintendo has not released the $90 games yet, so that's not part of the equation right now, but that's where it's headed. All the other people are going to be like, well, if people are buying Nintendo games for $90, we can charge $90. I mean, just look at Rockstar right now with the rumor floating around about the $100 minimum game purchase for their new Grand Theft Auto. Like, that's going to be the base, and I'm sure that they're going to come out with a collector's edition or a digital edition or something like that. And who knows? You want the best GTA version? You got to pay $250.
Oh,
that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
hoping we don't go to that.
What it boils down to is it'll be the rise of the indie gamers. The AAA titles are eventually going to die out if they continue the upward trend of expensive games. And I understand you're using the latest and greatest technology to make our games better and more lifelike and more fluid and all that jazz. We appreciate that. We really do. But it eventually gets to a point where does cost outweigh what's the word I'm looking for? Where does cost outweigh and fun? Well, we will use the word fun. Like, at what point do you start valuing your money more than you value the fun that you would get out of that $100 game, $200 game,
Yeah, like a way that, like, I don't like talking about my ex because he was an asshole, but there's like one thing that I like took away from like my relationship with him. Whenever he like bought a new game, he was always like, if I buy a game for £50 and I only spend like 20 hours on it, it's not worth it. If I spend 50 hours on that game, it's worth it. So like £1 or $1 an hour kind of thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I'm just kind of like, I've kind of been like valuing my games like that a little bit as well.
That's why I didn't feel bad because in total I've spent $250 on Escape from Tarkov over the years because I upgraded my editions and all that stuff. Actually no, $200 because I got to upgrade to the latest edition for an additional $50 because I had already owned the $150 version. No, $220 because I bought the single player Tarkov as well. So $220 in total, but I've been playing this game for years, and the amount of hours that I've put in, the money was worth it. So yeah, I understand from that aspect. If I was willing to shell out up to the $200 for this game because I at least got $200 worth of my time enjoyment out of it, and I plan on continuing enjoying.
That's
the
not
game.
Terrible.
Yeah. And when it comes to Steam, this little good boy over here, he's gonna get a copy, and then we can play together. And then I finally won't be so lonely because I'm
not
so
ready.
Lonely.
I am not ready.
So lonely. I want to shoot people with people. In Minecraft, in Escape from Tarkov.
Oh God!
In Escape from Tarkov.
Oh God!
In Escape from Tarkov.
And we're gonna be like, so we got YouTube partner on the Boomercast. Why are none of these monetized? Oh. That's why.
Chat, we've been talking about video games. Read between the lines, please.
Bro,
I swear. I swear.
We have
I don't
gone
even own a firearm
3
anymore.
episodes without talking. Oh wait, we talked about video games last time, didn't we? Fuck. I don't know anymore.
That's just modern culture, though. It's gaming, movies, TV shows, anime, manga, with the occasional dip into politics, a toe here and there. That's just our interests. I mean,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's really disappointing. Do you know of the YouTube channel called OutDoorBoys?
No.
No. But I might know where you're going with this.
Oh,
I
man.
saw a photo in my feed of
Yeah.
OutDoorBoys, and it said goodbye over it, and it made me think
Yeah.
that they were going to be shutting down their channel.
Yeah, so it's this channel where it's his dad and like his kids. He used to be in the Navy or the Air Force.
Yeah.
He was he a JAG officer? Maybe. Might have been a JAG officer. I don't know. He's got a law degree and he practiced law in the military. And then he got out. And then he basically does these survival videos and stuff like that. And like here's what I think about survival videos. Like a lot of these are staged, but he definitely took the camera there the whole time. And it didn't it wasn't as I shouldn't say as produced because that makes it sound like he did a shitty job of filming. It was much
more continuous shots instead of cuts.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of cuts doing this, and the only time he would cut, he would be like, "Yeah, so I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes digging. I'll see you in 20 minutes." And he'd literally be like, "Oh, so that literally took me an hour. I hate it. I'm cold. I'm freezing. I'm dying." And it's just like other random stuff like that. And it was a very nice channel for me as like a person who, you know, lives in a city instead of the like rural outlying areas anymore. It was very nice.
The great outdoors, boy. Yeah. Get yourself some sun.
Yeah. It was nice to fall asleep to. And yeah, he's stepping away from all of his videos and he's not uploading anymore because he's like, I don't want the fame to hurt my family. Like, you know what? I get that.
That's fair.
Yeah. I did notice
this turning into one of those like family vloggers.
Oh god, like... right?
I did notice this last week where I didn't stream or do any content. Like I was able to get a lot more done with my personal life. Not that I don't enjoy doing this. I consider this part of my life. Well, no. It's just I'm basically trying to connect where I see him coming from. I will continue to be a content creator because that's something I enjoy doing. But I can see where not creating content gives you so much of your life back hour-wise that you are able to not alienate your family and like because you see too many times where these content creators get really famous and then that's all they do. 10 hours a day, it's focused on content creation, 8 hours of sleep maybe, and then all anybody ever wants to talk to them about is content creation stuff, right? So
and then the crash out posts start where they're like, I haven't seen my family in like 5 years. I hate being a content creator. I hate chasing the dragon.
Yeah.
Like, damn, bro.
That's why commenters, the advice from, I'm sure both of my co-hosts here could say is, if you're going to become a content creator, go into it to have fun. Don't worry about making money. Don't worry about doing this. It should be something you enjoy doing because all that other stuff will come in time. I think they said like the average VTuber at the very least, content creator, it normally takes about 3 years of as long as they're streaming every week to actually get to that point where they might blow up. Like you have to put in the time. That's all there is to it. But if you're gonna put in the time, do it because you enjoy it and make it fun for yourself. Obviously, you need to make it fun for your community, but at the same time, if you're not having fun, the people you attract your community are not gonna be having the same fun. They'll know. Yeah.
It's why like I also I'll always add like play games that you like to play because sure you can do like the thing of like, oh, I'm going to play the next big game and like play the lottery of like someone seeing like this small number at the bottom and getting a big raid potentially. If the game's not fun, if you don't like the game, don't bother. Just don't bother.
Looking at you, Star Rail.
I like Star Rail. I streamed Star. I pissed someone off.
I streamed Star Rail, and then I realized
Star Whale is right. Star Whale.
It was very much Honkai Star Whale, not Honkai Star Rail. With how they were doing it, and I was basically like, "Bro, this is so bad writing wise for me. I can't get into it anymore." So I stopped.
Meanwhile, I've gotten on a new high when it comes to Honkai Star Rail.
Here we know.
I'm aiming for 400 pulls for Finon next patch.
Jesus.
Oof.
That's enough to get
I
it
want him
at
so
least
bad.
twice.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to get him more.
I can't do it, man. Like, if their percentages were better, I'd play it more. Their percentages are terrible.
What
I'll be very
percentage?
honest.
Go ahead.
I compare it to Fate Go.
Yeah.
Fate Go is horrendous with its pity. Well, it doesn't even have a pity system. In Fate Go, it's just like let me look up the rates for Fate Go. Hold on.
While she's doing that, like, what percentage would they have to make your drop rates for you to come back, Shades?
Oh my god. So here's the deal. 200 pulls for a 50-50, like what? 100 for a 50-50 and then 200 for a guaranteed.
90 for 50-50, and 90 is then the hard pity. So at 90 it's a guaranteed 5-star.
But it's not
at 70 it like goes up.
Not yet. So I think you're right. I think once you hit 70, your percentage continues to tick up until you hit 90, and then you hit the guaranteed. But it's still a 50-50. But if you don't get that a banner character for the first drop of that 50-50, the next one you get will be that banner character, as long as you're still pulling on that same banner.
Yeah. Well,
next 5
it carries over. So like if, for example, like the Anaxa banner right now is up still for like the rest of today, tomorrow. If you lose your 50-50 now, you'll have a guarantee on whatever banner's next as well. Yeah. So it carries over. So
which is how I got a few characters that way. But my point is, it shouldn't take me 190 pulls to do it. Especially when, like, that's what, less than 1%?
What's a 10 pull? Like $15? $15 if you were to throw a dollar amount at it for a 10 pull?
I think
13, yeah. And that's another thing. Like, if a 10 pull wasn't like $15, I'd be a little more generous. But like, if you want to get 100 pulls, that's like $150, $200 that you got to just drop.
Yeah.
And they've never addressed the situation of the power creep, where a lot of the older characters, until recently supposedly, were a lot of the older characters kits basically were just trash.
Yeah.
They recently started doing that.
They're starting to buff characters now.
I stopped a year ago before they did that. Not a year ago. I stopped like 7-8 months ago. When I was like, they've got nothing for this. I'm literally stuck here running the same 7 dungeons at a chance rate to get better gear for what I've got, because I wasn't about to pull for like 5-star weapons and light cones. And I was just going, bro, I'm spending too much time doing this. It's starting to feel like a chore.
So I played Genshin. Genshin was the one that I played. And I know that you brought up like the power creep and stuff, but like for me, when Ganyu came out, Ganyu has just always been good. I don't remember them doing any actual updates on her, but like even now, people are still they're using the goat.
Like,
she's the goat.
Genshin hasn't buffed any characters at all, as far as I'm aware. Honkai Star Rail,
Geodaddy is still super powerful in Genshin as well.
They buffed the frick out of Zhongli since launch, because he was
have they?
Incredibly underpowered at launch.
Wow.
And the Chinese community was angry.
Maybe his attacks were underpowered, but his shield has always been overpowered.
His shield was initially not great. It was like worse than, frick, I forgot what the names are, but like it was like not as great. But like they basically made him, that he's an Archon, so like he has to kind of overpower other characters in that sense. He is, as far as I'm aware, I haven't played Genshin in like over a year.
Oh, I haven't either, because I'll spend money if I play Genshin.
And that's my
we went
point.
out of Fontaine, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
That's my point. Like, I don't enjoy the fact that, oh, okay, I get it that it's supposed to separate my money from my wallet because it's a free game. I get that.
Yeah.
However, it's starting it got to a point where I was feeling it was very predatory and the quality of said game was not what I wanted.
That's fair.
Looking at the later half of Penacony when they started deciding that they didn't want to pay voice actors, so that they could rather just, you know, generate their voices, and then they just stopped voice acting for a while.
That's not Hoyo. That is what's it?
I have no idea.
The voice actors are, well, most voice actors anyway, they are allowed to still work on the game. They just choose not to, in solidarity to the voice actors that can't do it because of their contracts with like whatever. But that's a whole other beast, and it's such a messy situation.
I don't even want to step on that. I've heard
all I can say is just play in Japanese. It's fine.
Yeah,
I don't understand this moon speak nonsense. I've got
they got English subtitles.
They got English subtitles. Subtitled at the same time. It's not how it works.
Oh, I forgot. The doggo has dyslexia.
No, I've got ADHD real bad.
Not only does he get to listen to Moon speak, but he'll read everything backwards, even if it's
exactly.
Gotcha.
Listen, I have to use Japanese voices, else I will cringe the phrase.
Most games I play, if they have an option for Japanese voice acting, I always switch over to the Japanese voice acting.
Same.
Japan, I love your voice actors. I'm just saying, like the smooth and the characters that you guys can bring out with your language. It's so much greater than, and not hating on English speaking voice actors, but they don't put out the same spirit for certain characters. So like the attitude of a character voiced by a Japanese voice actor comes off completely different when they're English voice act, because the English voice actor is basically just given a screen and saying, "Hey, say these lines and match it to this face movement," right? Yeah. So the studios, when they're making up the Japanese versions, they're creating that content at the same time that's coming out. Whereas I think the English voice actors, they get it after everything has already come out, and if they've never played the game or any of that, they don't get the gist of.
They don't understand
the context. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of get some weird voice acting. Not that it's bad. Not all of it's bad.
You mean you get
there's
Star
some really
Wars
good voice
acting
too?
It's a disconnect sort of thing.
Yeah. Like one
Are
really
you hating
good
on
example.
Jar Jar? Are you hating on my Sith Lord?
No, I'm saying that the acting the acting direction that George Lucas did in Episode 2 wasn't the best. He had great actors and he ruined all of their potential. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, because for what it was, it's way better. Okay, so here's the deal. I enjoy the Star Wars prequels as they are. They're chef's kiss. But I'm just like, it's one of those things of, they could have been so much better if someone had said, "George, you really can't have him say that like that," or "George, you really shouldn't cut this scene. It's important."
Like, I will say, like, there is some phenomenal, like, English voice acting out there, and, like, one thing that jumps to mind, like, right away is, like, Ben Starr as Clive Rossfield in 16. He is such a genius. When he's also just a freaking meme lord. He's great. Like, the difference in like voice acting when it comes to like between like the West and like the East, it shows. And it shows really badly that here in the West, sure, we have acting schools, but we don't have voice acting schools. And they do in Japan.
They do in Japan.
And like acting out a character, like live action movie, is so different than voice acting a character in like a game or a show, because you don't have your facial expressions.
Yeah, the live action stuff is mostly about your body language conveying a character, whereas you have to be then as a voice actor translate that body language into voice.
Yeah,
because you can't they can't see you doing it.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie.
What's
Here is who. If we were to do an American School of Voice Acting, Here's who I would tap in to be like, all right, so you're gonna organize and start this. Sam Witwer. And you're like, who's Sam Witwer? I don't know. He played a character in Star Wars The Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels. He was the voice actor for Darth Maul in the cartoon shows. And he did very good at it. I also think he was...
Oh! Okay, yeah. I know who that is. I can agree with you.
Yeah.
He also was Darth Vader's apprentice in the 2 video games that came out. Goodness, what was it? He was Darth Vader's secret apprentice. God,
yeah, Star Killer. Star Killer and the Force Unleashed.
Yeah, he was Star Killer.
Yes.
He also live acted in Smallville for those people that enjoyed Smallville. You're like, oh, what's Smallville? Well, it's the basically the teenage version of Superman. Yeah, Smallville's where Superman's from.
Can we also put Jonathan Bailey in there?
Jonathan Bailey?
Who?
Gratia. The English voice actor for Gratia.
Sure.
I love him so much.
Or Grahatia, you said?
Yeah. He also did Fiero in Wicked.
Huh.
It looks like...
But that's
I'm
who
looking
I would
at
pick.
some stuff for him. It looks like he was in Bridgerton as well.
Yeah.
I do like.
So I've been told.
Oh, so you made me believe you watched it, and I got excited. I can talk to Kirari about Bridgerton.
I keep getting told by like friends, watch Bridgerton. Jonathan Bailey's in there. You like Gratia, and I'm like, I listen to Japanese.
Why are you putting bridges on towns? That's weird. Oh, you know what's fucking hilarious to me?
Hmm?
So you know that Snow White movie?
Yeah. Didn't they do a re-release?
They did a re-release and it did worse.
Didn't flop?
Yeah.
Did worse.
It did worse. And I was like, bro, damn. Like, because I think we've talked about Rachel Zegler like once.
Did they even change anything before the re-release?
No.
Like, did they add deleted scenes or anything like that? Then it just seems completely stupid that they even tried to do a re-release, because like the movie came out, then the shitstorm happened, and then they dropped the movie from the theaters early because they have a set time that they leave it in theaters, and the better it does, the longer it stays in theaters. And so they cut early their original plans for how long it was going to be in theaters just to re-release it and not make any changes, thinking it would do better the second time.
Bro,
oh man!
So are you ready for Disney to just like delete this movie from existence?
Can we just go back to freaking Disney actually making new things instead of remaking everything? Please.
Oh, it would be so nice. But then their originals that they did produce were shit.
Like, I'm just kind of like in the thing of like, yeah, like, I don't know, man. Like, re-releasing stuff for like new generations is fine and all, but like. Yeah. Make new things. If you want, like, I don't know, certain, age groups, certain, like, parts of the world to feel included in some way or another, make something that's, like, based on that part of the world or, like, part of that age group. Or, I don't freaking know. Use your goddamn imagination.
So, right at this point in time, do we think that Disney will be able to make a comeback, or do you think it's going to be a slow downhill slide into obscurity? I mean, obviously their parks are still going to be really big, but
their parks are overvalued and overcharged.
They are. But I'm talking like IP wise. Do you think it's just a slow, slippery downhill slide, or that they can recover from it?
I call Sears.
Sears is shutting down all over the United States.
They've already shut down, I thought. Did they not?
They have. A lot of the other stores that still have product in them, they're treating them like outlet stores right now to try to sell off excess product. So there are still some that are
already
open.
Shut all of them down.
So the outlet part of it is
Chapter 11 and 18.
They did, but they have to recoup their money somehow. and so they have to sell it off as like extra assets and things like that.
All right.
JC Penney is going that way too, I think.
No, I'm serious. I still call Sears.
Speaking of like stores closing and like then Disney, all the Disney stores in the UK like closed as of like a few years ago.
Bro, you guys still had Disney stores? They closed all that
We
shit
had Disney stores. They closed like, I don't know, when did I move here? 5 years ago. And then I had like a good year, maybe year and a half of like, oh, I'm going to go into town. I'm going to go to the Disney store. And like at one point I went into town to go to the Disney store, and then the Disney store was gone.
Wow.
So they closed like, no! all of those in 2021 due to unfortunate circumstances related. The algorithm deboosting us because we're talking about COVID. I doubt it. You know,
when did we talk about COVID?
We've talked about COVID a bunch of times when we've been like, so this is what I was doing during COVID.
Oh yeah, just in terms of like
I don't know. Anyway, we've Seal's broken. I don't care. So yeah, they closed all of ours in 2021 due to COVID.
Yeah. And it says that there are still some Disney stores open though. But okay, so like Disney store outlets, some Disney store locations continue operation as outlet stores, typically found in premium outlet malls, which there are a couple in the States. Disney at Target. Disney expanded its presence within Target stores, so they don't have to have their own storefronts. They've just expanded their stuff at Target. And obviously Disney World has stores because it's their theme park. Of course, they're going to charge you to go in and buy stuff. So they're going to charge you to go into the park, and then they're going to charge you even more because it's a premium fee for buying stuff at the park.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen to Disney. They're basically going to get Sears. They're going to start shutting down all of their stuff. They're going to stop making movies. They're going to start selling off all of their profitable stuff. They're probably going to sell Star Wars for pennies on the dollar for what they bought it for.
So if you know how like Netflix bought Fox, or I think that's how it was, or Hulu bought Fox. Something like mergers. Yeah, Disney bought Fox and Disney's run by Hulu. Do you think Disney would ever get bought out by somebody else, or do you think they'll just fail? If we're going down the downhill slope option,
if we're going down the fire sale, there's no one left. I can see the remaining studios, Warner Brothers and maybe AMC.
So are you saying Universal? They're too big for anybody to purchase them
outright? Yes,
to save them. Yeah, outright.
I think they are too large for anyone that exists now to outright purchase them. I think like Warner Brothers, Universal, and like maybe who's the other big studio? There's no other big studios. Literally just Universal and
Netflix is a studio now.
Netflix is shit.
They're still a studio, and they make tons of money.
They keep canceling all the game studio stuff.
Neither here nor there on that. Just they still be considered a studio. I think if they are going down that route, it wouldn't be so much that they buy Disney. The original owners of Disney would still retain the rights, but they would sell other companies the rights to show their content on the platforms if they didn't keep their own platform.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Disney goes belly up. They try and cover all their costs by selling all of their stuff off between Universal, Sony, and Paramount. Maybe Warner Brothers. But Warner Brothers isn't healthy either. Warner Brothers is basically circling the drain. So, bruh, what happened? I mean, I can tell you what happened.
So for you out there in the internet world, Disney, all these other places that we're talking about, these are all just theoretical opinions that we have about the possible
Don't send
state.
Mickey Mouse hit squads to my house.
We're not trying to say that is going to happen or that's what's happening. We're speculating based off of the decline and bad press Disney's been getting recently.
Yeah.
I want Disney to do well, man.
It'd be great.
Yeah, I'd love Disney to do well. That's my childhood. But like at the same time, the world should be a changing.
Yeah, like
Make new things.
Make new
Just
things.
make new
Make
things.
things good. Don't make them extra preachy. No one cares to be preached at. No one's cared to be preached at for 10 years, and for whatever reason, it's been the only content available.
That's it. We're gonna go from MAGA to MDGA. Make Disney great again. They're great. We love them.
Hire me as a story writer.
Bro, right?
It'll be nothing but BL. I'm joking. I can write other stuff than BL.
Oh my god. But like, I'm just, what the hell, man? Like, flop after weird. What happened in the movies? Like, what happened? What happened?
They ran out of ideas.
Yeah.
Bro. It's happening to gaming too. You know that, right?
Well, I mean, the other thing too is literally again what Kirari said about them bringing remakes to a new modern audience, a new younger generation. Like, I mean, how many versions are they going to be able to make? You can only really remake something once, right?
Yeah. Like it's kind of like for like the really old school Disney stuff. I kind of get why you need to remake it because some stuff is not really.
We don't talk about what happened in Walt Disney between the period of 1930 and 1960. Okay, we just don't need to talk about that. All right, we're not going to talk about it.
Very early Disney is like, yeah, I can see why you would like rehash that for why you would like rehash or remake that for like a modern audience.
Well, some of this stuff they really can't remake.
I mean, yeah, obviously, like
the content is so not
outdated.
For modern audiences. Like,
it's just
what do you mean? We don't have an old Southern black woman that comes into our house and takes care of it while we're all out playing bridge and waiting for her to cook.
That's why Disney just, instead of remaking those IPs that just are so steeped in controversy, they just put that little disclaimer. Hey, at the time that this movie was made, this was
the norm.
How it was at that time.
Don't they have that on Disney Plus when you like
a few of them.
Yeah. On a few of them they do. And it's just like the fact that you have to do that, you can't remake those ones because you can't just remake them and be like, haha, look at what we did for a show, for a thing that was racist that wasn't racist then.
Disney's new 2026 racism rebooted coming to theaters near you.
But as long as we put that disclaimer, hey,
we did it. We warned you.
We warned you.
Yeah, but like for stuff like that, yeah, sure, you can't remake that for obvious reasons. But like, for frick's sake, like, what was wrong with Little Mermaid?
Okay, here's the deal. No one asked for Black Little Mermaid. I'm not sorry for having this opinion. No one fucking cared because like the bottom line is you got a girl who couldn't sing really well.
I didn't even see it.
So are you saying you would have
I listened to a few of them
differently about it if it was an African American woman that had like an amazing singing voice?
Yes.
We'll use Beyonce. If they had Beyonce play the Little Mermaid in the live action,
I would have seen that 3 times.
Okay. So it's not necessarily color of Ariel.
No, it's literally you got like she was okay at it. She wasn't great.
Yeah, the content in which they were trying to produce wasn't up to the standards that you would expect.
Yeah. And that's my whole thing.
So it wasn't it's not even race at all. It's talent.
Yeah.
It's talent.
Like it doesn't exhausting.
That's kind of like the DC when they came out with the TV show Teen Titans and they made Starfire a woman of color because in the cartoons she's got orange skin. So it's kind of just like how do you choose which race is represented or which color of the race is represented by that character? It's really hard to do. Now, I personally have nothing against the actress that played Starfire there, but I almost would have thought that because she's a fictional space person character, you probably could have gotten away with somebody that had orange skin playing Starfire.
Yeah,
just a lot of
painted
shitload
on
of
or whatever.
bronzer.
Yeah. Yeah, or just really, really tan, orange tan, almost like Trump. Orange like Trump.
Yeah, yeah.
I love Donald Trump's rants on the internet and on TV.
Look,
it's
here's
great.
the deal. That man is fucking hilarious. You can't tell me he's not. Like,
so
love him or hate him, it's funny as shit.
I'm not trying to delve into politics, but I recently watched the video of him giving his speech when he went to Saudi Arabia for that conference with the businessmen and all that stuff and all that stuff. And this man, like, I kid you not, was essentially just like, hey, we want to say thanks for, exporting goods and not exporting terrorists anymore. You guys are great. We love you. Yeah. And like he just said that. And I'm just like, what the heck, man? And then like, so when he was bringing up the exporting of terrorists, not necessarily the country he was in, just the Middle East in general, he was talking about.
Oh God.
And like he brought up towers. He's like, you guys got beautiful towers. We used to have towers too. They were beautiful, but you guys got beautiful towers. And I was just like, what? This guy, the balls on this president, and everyone's just clapping for him and smiling. And I'm just like, this man, like
holy shit.
He doesn't mince words. He says what he means and means what he says.
Okay. It's kind of fucking funny.
It is.
Also, after we said the funnies and the hee-hees, don't take this as endorsement for fucking anything. If you take this as endorsement for anybody, get out.
This is more social commentary than anything. On our channel, we talk about events that are going on, things that pop up. This was an event that happened. This is what a man said, whether he was president or not. These are the things that came out of a man's mouth.
Bro, we can go off the rails with some of the off-color shit that Joe Biden has said that everyone forgets about too. Maybe we should do that next week. Well, I've got some funny things that actually we probably can't because some of the off-color things he said were very racist.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, let's not do that.
No. And yeah.
Okay, so no sniffing hair either. Gotcha.
Sniffing hair and licking babies. I don't think he actually licked a baby. I wanted to be funny.
I could see him doing it after he spills some of his ice cream.
You know how
on like a grandchild's head.
Well,
like,
yeah, I was gonna say.
Son. Yep.
Commenters, if he was licking a baby, it was on the forehead. So instead of like kissing, the
yeah,
forehead,
it'd be to get ice cream off
his
grandkid's head. Let's be real.
We're not.
We're so canceled after this.
I'm sorry.
Oh my! I'm not. Fuck them. It's funny. Look, she's been laughing for 5 minutes and also cringing. So like,
Well, I've just been cringing over here.
She's just like, well, it's not my country. Smacks hands together to blow dust away.
I'm just like on the sidelines. I just see like the funny posts where like Americans go like, Americans like best country ever, and then like someone in the UK posts on it like, bro, I have like freaking refineries that are older than your country.
Oh my God, there are little townships in your country that are older than my country.
My hometown is older than America.
There are statues in my backyard that are older than America. And you're like, call me back, kid, when you grow a pair.
Basically, it's like the UK's equivalent of saying, hey, you remember when you guys were a colony of us?
Yeah.
We're like, shut up, Dad. No one asked.
It's just funny because like sometimes I like remember that like America is actually not that old.
No,
and then I'm just like thinking back of like in elementary school when I was like 8 years old or whatever, like my hometown celebrated its like 500th birthday or whatever.
Bro,
like
what?
Or existence day.
Bro,
like my hometown
500
when I was 8.
What?
Yeah. My hometown is like over 500 years old.
Like,
and sometimes I forget.
Comprehend that amount of time.
Sometimes I forget that that's like what, almost double? Because it was like
Yeah, no, like we
1860
just
something.
hold on. How old is America?
From March 1st, 1781.
Okay, 70.
to
Okay.
now.
We are 248 years old as of July 4th, 2024.
Yeah, 248 years old.
Wow, so your hometown literally has been around longer than America.
Double.
Yeah.
Your hometown has been around way before anyone founded colonies.
Yeah.
Hold on. When did Christopher Columbus?
I thought it was 1492. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Is that correct?
Yeah, 1492.
Am I correct?
So
yes, school did not fail me. School.
Hey!
That is the
still
only
failing the
thing that
kids
you
today.
remember. That and pi r squared. Am I right?
Can I
Comment section.
Can I just rant about school for a second? These days, my daughter brought home some homework, right?
Yeah.
And literally at the top of it, it was like a 50-page question thing.
Oh,
and literally at the top of it, it was just like Google the answers. And I'm like, what?
How
Where
the
do schools
fuck
come like a lot of the homework that the middle school was giving her was just like, oh, here, scan this QR code and use these websites to answer the question. And it's just like, I get you're saving money on books, but what happened to reading for comprehension, to learn these things, and then finding the information and filling in the questions?
What the hell?
Now you can just type in the question and tell Google, answer this for me, and be like, okay.
If I Googled my homework, I would get detention.
I couldn't do that. I had like a 2 megabyte modem up until like, actually, yeah. Don't, we're not going to talk about that.
Now, as far as the aspect of my daughter, she's really good when it comes to school, except for maths. She does not like math, and she has a hard time remembering it. Which,
fair.
Which, to be fair, But I like math, but I'm weird. But yeah, so
we've established this.
it just boggles my mind that the schools are just they're done, or at least the school district that my daughter's in is just like, yeah, just look it up on the internet. We know you're gonna do that as an adult anyways.
Bro,
I mean, they're not wrong.
No, they're not wrong, but just
I remember that you will not have a freaking calculator in your pocket when you're older.
As you've got a Texas Instrument on your desk with you, you're like, you won't have pocket calculators. What is this?
Look at me now.
I can play Mario on this calculator. This is before cell phones. I can play Mario on this calculator.
Bro, you know what else is ridiculous? That it's like, oh, you better learn how to do this because no one's gonna do it later. Freaking look up information in a library.
Yeah, the Dewey Decimal.
Dewey Decimal bullshit. You still use that, right?
Yeah, some libraries still use it.
I literally don't need that.
Or you'd have to go look at the card catalog.
Yeah.
For the Dewey Decimal System.
Bro, those pissed me off because like if you had someone who didn't resort those. I remember when I was doing research papers back in middle school and the early young shades didn't have electronic access to God. Could never find books. The worst.
Books.
All right. I'm not gonna lie. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I've been trying not to cough so much. Who wants to close us out? Because this is the end.
Is the end. Frick.
Dropping shit.
I'm being stared at. I mean, I don't know when this one is. This one going live not this week, but the week after, right?
Next 2 weeks, yeah.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't remember how you usually close these out. Listen, I'm slow brained.
Right. Comment section. Tell a friend about us. So that way we can grow the channel. There's currently 26 of you. So if you each told 2 people, that would be 100?
A lot.
26 times 3 shades.
26 times 3. So yeah, that'd be
60.
That would be about 80.
No. 72,
78.
Stop making me do math. Yeah, that'd be like
80.
70 or
right.
80 of you.
About 80.
Like, go tell a friend about us. You can catch us at the links below live if you want to. Otherwise, look for our YouTube shorts. We'll see you guys next time. Good night. Good luck. I'm rambling. We'll see you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.